Hey, what's up? Welcome back to another video. If you're like me and you bought a Windows computer that doesn't have much storage on it and it desperately needs an upgrade, or you just want to upgrade your laptop storage in general, then today I'm going to show you the whole process. To clarify, we're going to be upgrading the main drive, so replacing it entirely, which means step one is going to be to back up all of your files. Now what I chose to do was I went into the main drive and the users folder, I just copied that over to my external drive. The users folder stores all your files and has the desktop, downloads, documents, all those different segments are stored there. So later on I'm gonna check what I need and what I don't because I kinda want more of a fresh start. But you also have some other options. You can go into Windows, File History, and then pick different folders that you wanna back up. Otherwise, there's also programs like Acronis that make it easy to clone your entire drive onto another one, just in case you want everything to be the exact same. But I will say, if you're having any issues on your computer, it might be just good to have a fresh start in case there's any corrupted files and whatnot messing up your computer. But once you got your files backed up, or if you're starting fresh, either way, go grab an empty USB. We're going to be using this to reinstall Windows, so make sure it's at least 8 gigabytes. Okay, Google Windows Bootable USB and then click on the first link from Microsoft that says Create Installation Media for Windows. Then on this page, you're going to want to go to your operating system, mine is Windows 11, and then it will redirect you to another page where you're going to want to go to Create Windows 11 Installation Media. We can also use the bottom one, which is disk image, but it's just easier using the installation media since we're using the same machine later anyways. So click download now, and then once it's done, open it and run it. Click accept. Now just double check that the USB that's showing here is the one that we want to install Windows on. And that's pretty much it. Windows will now download onto the USB. Keep in mind it will take some time, mine took around half an hour. Now this is only possible because we're reinstalling Windows on a computer that had already come with it installed. So the licensing information is probably tied to the motherboard. If you're trying to install Windows on a computer that has never had it before, then you're probably going to need to buy a product key. Okay, now that we're done with the USB, go ahead and quickly Google the BIOS key for your computer, because you'll see in a moment that we're gonna need to press it to get into the BIOS to make sure that your computer boots into this USB. And once you've done that, it's time to open your laptop. So here you can see my SSD, it's an M.2 form factor. If you have more of a newer laptop, then you probably have an M.2 SSD, otherwise it could be a 2.5-inch hard drive. In any case, buy what you have. If you have a 2.5-inch hard drive, then you can buy a 2.5-inch SSD. If it's an M.2, just get another M.2. I got this 1TB M.2 SSD from Samsung, but see what you need. Like generally speaking, the higher the read and write speeds, the better, especially if you're doing a lot of file transferring or moving data. You can also see how much storage you need for what you do. 1TB is roughly 1,000 gigabytes. Now it's very easy to remove the SSD. All you have to do is unscrew it, it'll pop up, and then just simply take it out. Now once you have your new SSD, all you have to do is line up the notch here with the one on the port, put it in at a 45-degree angle and push. Once it's in, just lay it flat and screw it in. Now just put the cover back on and we're almost done. So put the USB in, turn on the computer, and spam the BIOS key until the BIOS opens up. And then go into boot, where your boot option number 1 should be the USB that you have. If it's not, just press enter and then change the order. Otherwise, on most computers you could also just change the order with F5 and F6. But once everything is done, go and save and exit, and it should boot into the USB. Give it a minute. But there you go, you're in the Windows setup now. All you have to do is just follow the instructions and continue. Also forgot to plug this in. Make sure you have your laptop plugged in, just in case. Just go ahead and accept the terms, press next, custom install. There you go, you got your drive right there, and then press next to install, and it should install. That's all you have to do. You're pretty much almost done. Now in some cases, once it's done, it'll actually go back to the beginning of the installer. If that happens to you, just exit out the installer and unplug the USB. If that didn't happen to you, it should load into Windows anyways, and you're pretty much done. All you have to do now is update your computer and put any files back onto it that you want. That's all there is to it. Pretty simple, right? Of course, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you like this video, then like it. And if you loved it, then subscribe. And I'll see you later. Peace.